there must be a good vibe going on down at the school right now, because the kids have a cause. Like, I will say this, there's a great vibe here at UTTV, at least amongst our, we have 12 runners, but we've got a bunch of volunteers. So between the 14 or 16 of us, there's a really great vibe. Like, we feel like we're doing something really terrific for our community.
Exactly, going together and grouping together,
Do the kids spread that vibe down at the school? I mean,
oh,
can you feel it?
definitely.
Yeah?
I mean, to be able to run, they have to keep up their grades, they have to keep up their attendance. So it's another incentive for them to do really well in their schoolwork. After school, everybody's changing and getting ready for their run. And
when I was waiting outside, there was a couple of kids that came up to me and said, "Oh, are you running today with the students?" And I say, "Yeah, I am. My sister's running that, or you know, my brother's running that." And everybody's so excited for their brother or sister that's a part of this. It was really cool. It was very cool to watch.
Well, you mentioned that the kids have to keep their attendance up, and these are again homeless children. There's no transportation to get them to school. A lot of them have to take public transportation. Who knows where they were the night before, and so on. So you use this as incentive. Hey, if you want to be on this team and you want to do something great, you've got to get into school.
Exactly.
Do you find as a teacher down there that attendance is a big problem? Because again, who knows where these kids were the night before?
Yes, it's always something that we're working on, and a huge challenge is to get them to school. Luckily, they all do have bus passes and trolley passes, so they're able to get there that way. But it is a really hard thing for everyone to make sure, depending on where they were the night before, depending on who they're staying with at that moment, getting to school is a huge challenge.
Right.
How young is the youngest kid who goes to the Monarch School that you think uses a bus or a trolley and travels maybe by themselves to get to school?
I'm in the 2nd and 3rd grade class right now, and my students are 7 and 8 years old, and they definitely, some of them come to school on their own, or a lot of times it's with a sibling who's only 10 or 11.
Older, but
you imagine a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old on the trolley by themselves. Not only do they have to use the passes, but they have to be on the lookout because you just never know what kind of weirdos you might encounter.
Exactly. Katie, how long have you been working at the school?
I've been at the school for about 2 years now, and I was working with an organization called Invisible Children, and then I decided to go back to school to get my teaching credential, and lucky enough I was able to start at Monarch School as a TA, and now I've been a long-term substitute there for a couple years.
Very nice. Now you've got to be so excited for this new school.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, getting ready for it. And I can't say, running with Katie and the other students, they absolutely adore you.
It's so fun. We have so much fun running.
I know. They look up to you and they love you, and it's so cool that you're running with them.
Well, it's great because San Diego is such a great city, and our school's right in Little Italy. So we get to run the harbor, run by the Star of India, see the cruise ships coming in, run by the Midway, and so it's a really inspiring route that we get to do every day.
What's the strangest thing you've encountered, though, being there for the last 2 years, that maybe that you didn't expect from one of these kinds of kids?
I think they're just their commitment and their resilience. I mean, they have been through so much more than I've ever had to be through in my life, and yet they're still coming and they're still trying. And I was working in the high school class for a while, and just seeing their hope and knowing that education really is the way to break the cycle of poverty, and their commitment to that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, this is going to be, we had this meeting last week with our team, and I think our team here at UTTV finally understands that we're doing something great for the community, but we're also helping end this cycle. You said poverty of homelessness as well, because ultimately as a taxpayer, if these kids don't get educated, don't do something with themselves, the taxpayers will pay for these kids, whether it's through visits to the hospital or
somewhere else,
or prisons. I mean, seriously, the public will pay. So that's why we all want to really support this whole thing. I was just going to say this: if you would like to donate to the Monarch School to help them with their new facility, we are running. Here's our website: active.com/donate.
Go on, go donate.
Monarch, 2013. And the last part is cut off /UTTV.
UTTV.